Let's take a look at some examples of time value of money to understand the concept of future value of an annuity. Now, as we have seen in the video for the concepts of future value of an annuity is a series of equal payments made at fixed intervals for a specified number of periods. So here we have been given four different examples. So A is that you deposit rupees 7500 at the end of each of the next 3 years in a bank account that pays 3% interest. How much will you have in your account at the end of the 3-year period? Part B says, what if in part A you deposited rupees 3750 instead of rupees 7500? So basically this is half of this. So what happens if we deposit half the money? Part C is, what if you deposited rupees 7500 for 3 years, but instead of earning 3% interest you now earn 6% interest? And D, if you deposited rupees 7500 at the beginning of each of the next 3 years in a bank account that pays 3% interest, how much will you have at the end of the 3-year period? So here we are depositing 7500 at the end of each of the next 3 years. And in part D, we are depositing 7500 rupees at the beginning of each of the next 3 years. So let's take a look at these four examples. So let's first take a look at part A. So the amount of money being deposited, or the annuity amount, is 7500 rupees per year. Now it is being deposited at the end of each year, so it's an ordinary annuity. The time frame for which it is being deposited is 3 years. Rate of interest is 3%, so I is 3 divided by 100, which is 0.03. So let's draw this example on time scale. This is 0, 1, 2, 3. Now the amount which is going out from your pocket is 7500 rupees at the end of each year. So at the end of first, second and third year we are shelling out 7500 rupees each. Rate of interest is 3%. Now the formula for future value is equal to 1 plus I to the power n minus 1 divided by I, and this is multiplied by the annuity amount, which is A. Now this is the formula for the ordinary annuity, where the amount is being deposited at the end of each period. So let's plug in these values in this formula. So A is 7500. 1 plus I means 1 plus 0.03 to the power n, and n is 3, minus 1 divided by I, which is 0.03. So this is 7500 into 1.03 cube minus 1 divided by 0.03. Let me pull my calculator here. So 1.03 cube minus 1 divided by 0.03 and multiplied by 7500. So this will give a future value of 23,181.75 rupees. Now let's move to part B. So part B says, what if in part A you deposited rupees 3,750 instead of rupees 7,500? So A is 3,750 rupees, N is the same 3 years, I is the same 0.03, and the type is also the same, that is ordinary annuity. So basically the time scale will be something like this. So at the end of each year, instead of 7,500, we are now depositing 3,750. Everything else remains the same. So now the future value will be the same formula. So let's plug in the values in this formula. So A is 3,750. Now here the minus sign is simply indicating that this is an outflow from your pocket. So, but the negative sign is not to be used in the formula. 1 plus 0.03 cube minus 1 divided by 0.03. So let's calculate this. So let's take the bracket first. So 1 plus 0.03 is 1.03, x to the power y 3 minus 1 divided by 0.03 multiplied by 3,750. So the future value is 11,590.875 rupees. Now when we had made double the investment at the same rate of interest and same tenure, our future value was 23,181.75. And now with half the investment or half the annuity amount, the future value is 11,590.875. Now let's see if there is a relationship between these two numbers. So let's multiply this by 2, and what we get is this number here, 23,181.75. So basically, if the annuity amount is halved, then the future value will also be half. Now let's move to part C. So part C says that what if you deposited rupees 7,500 for 3 years, but instead of earning 3% interest, you now earn 6% interest. So A is the same as the original amount, which is 7,500 rupees. N is also the same, which is 3 years. Interest rate is now changing from 3% to 6%, so this becomes 0.06. Type is the same, which is ordinary annuity. So let's draw this scenario on the time scale. So again, same 3-year period, 1, 2, 3. The outflow is at the end of each year, which is 7,500 rupees, and the rate of interest is 6% per year. So now again, using the same formula for future value, we get A, which is 7,500, into bracket 1 plus I, which is 0.06, N, which is 3, minus 1 divided by I, which is 0.06. So let's calculate this using a calculator. Now 1 plus 0.06 is 1.06, and that is to the power of 3. So 1.06 to the power 3 minus 1 divided by 0.06 is equal to, and multiplied by 7,500. So the future value is 23877 rupees. So now let's move to part number D. Now part D says that if you deposit rupees 7,500 at the beginning of each of the next 3 years in a bank account that pays 3% interest, how much will you have at the end of the 3-year period? So here A is 7,500 rupees, N is 3 years, I is 0.03 because interest rate is 3%, but the type is annuity due, because in this case so at the beginning of the first year we are shelling out 7,500 rupees. At the beginning of the second year, again outflow is 7,500 rupees. At the beginning of third year also the outflow is 7,500 rupees. So this is the only difference between part A and part D. In part A we were depositing at the end of each of the periods, whereas in part D we are depositing at the beginning of each of the periods. So now for the type annuity due, the future value can be calculated using the formula A into 1 plus I into bracket 1 plus I to the power n minus 1 divided by I. The difference between the formula for ordinary annuity and annuity due is that annuity due has 1 plus I multiplied by A, whereas ordinary annuity does not have this 1 plus I. Or in other terms, you can say the future value of an annuity due is future value of ordinary annuity multiplied by 1 plus I. So now let's plug in the values here. So 7,500 into 1 plus 0.03 into bracket 1 plus 0.03 to the power 3 minus 1 divided by I, which is 0.03. So now we'll first calculate this portion here. So 1.03 cube minus 1 divided by 0.03 multiplied by Now this bracket will also become 1.03. So 1.03 into 7500. So the future value is 23877.2025. So as you can see, when we were doing the same investment for same tenure, same interest rate, but at the end of each year, the future value at the end of 3 years was 23,181.75, whereas when we do the same type of investment, however, do it at the beginning of each of the periods, then we get 23877.2025. So as you can see, the type annuity due gives us more in terms of future value as compared to the ordinary annuity. And the simple funda behind this is that you are making investments early, so your accumulation is for a longer duration. Now you can see that this future value here is 23877 in part C, and in part D it is 23877.2025. So there is a difference between these two and it's not the same. So this was an example to understand the differences between ordinary annuity and annuity due, and also some what if analysis on the ordinary annuity calculations.